Does my eyes deceive me? Did I really see this in the subtitles? Like, what? Like, my face, my reaction, like, I had to pause the video. Like, I legit paused the video, took a step back, and was like, did I just see this character, Matsuri, just say that? I was just like, okay? Like, okay, I mean, it just, threw me for a loop. I just did not think something like that would ever be said in this series. But I think I have felt worse, girl, of Winter of Anime 2018. Like, yeah, there's no denying that, Matsuri, she's a jerk. No, I'm not saying that she's a bad character. I'm just saying I don't like her. Personality-wise, how she acted in this episode, she is obnoxious, annoying, and in some ways, I don't really like her character actually in the story because she's only there to slow down progression between Yuzu and Mei. That's the whole point of her character. I mean, let's just be real here, okay? Throwing aside everything else that happened in this episode and all of that, the main reason for this character, Matsuri, to even be introduced in the first place is just to stir up some conflict. I mean, since we already had, like, some of the major conflicts settled in last episode with the father situation with Mei, then obviously we needed something else to cause conflict, and that's kind of what happened here. You have it to where, you know, Matsuri, she came in, she's starting to cause conflict between Mei and Yuzu, and that's pretty much it. But in a way, this conflict is a little bit different from the norm. Normally, when it comes to conflict like this, usually it slows down the romance completely, but in fact, I believe Matsuri's introduction with her popping up and all that, and causing this conflict, I actually think she's progressing the romance between Yuzu and Mei, because if there's one big thing we could talk about from this episode, is that at the beginning, it seemed like Mei was kind of, she was confused. She didn't really know if she wanted to continue pressing forward with her feelings with Yuzu. She didn't know if she wanted to go that far, and so she was kind of just, like, not wanting to answer, you know, go with her feelings. She was just, you know, sitting back and wanting just to be like she was in the past. But after Matsuri came into the picture and started interacting with Yuzu, you get to see how Mei acts very different. She starts getting very frustrated looking, and it seems like she has some jealousy. And this lets us know that Mei is trying to take steps to keep Yuzu for herself. She doesn't want Yuzu stolen from her. So it is progressing the romance, even though it is conflict and it is kind of there to slow down the plot and everything. It also is speeding it up at the exact same time for, you know, Mei can figure out she is in fact really in love with Yuzu and she wants to be with Yuzu. Can we just say that Harumin, you know, she is best girl of the show? I mean, I've already said this a couple times, but she came in for the save in this episode, and I just couldn't have enough of her when this episode was, you know, running. I was like, yo, Harumin, really caring about her friend, giving her friend good advice, saying, look, I'm not going to tell you not to stop hanging around Matsuri, but I recommend you shouldn't. Like, she wasn't forcing, you know, Yuzu to stop hanging around Matsuri, but she was recommending her to stop hanging around her, and I was like, I like that. It's this friend that actually cares about their other friend, not trying to force something upon them. She's just looking out and all that, and I just think she's a very sweet character, and I mean, I've always said I liked her, and I've always felt like Harumin was that character that eventually might develop feelings for Yuzu, because just the way she's best friends with Yuzu, she's hanging around Yuzu, how she seems to care a lot about her and goes out of her way to do certain things for her, it seems like maybe she might have feelings. I could be wrong there, but just Harumin is just such a sweetheart. I love her a lot, and what she did for Yuzu in this episode, watching over her, making sure that nothing bad really happened, and when she finally did have to leave thanks to her sister giving her a call, she felt very bad about it because, you know, Matsuri took advantage of that and decided to kiss, you know, Yuzu against her will. Now, let's talk about that scene, okay? Yuzu, she gets a kiss from Matsuri in this week's episode of Citrus, and it's a obvious scene for us. As the audience, we know what that meant. For instance, Matsuri was basically confessing her love to Yuzu, saying, I love you, I want to be with you, I don't want you around Mei. That's what Matsuri was trying to do. Even though she was kind of forced to have that kiss, she didn't really look at it like, you know, what she normally looks at a kiss. For instance, when she kisses Mei or Mei kisses her, she looks at that entire theme of the kiss, or the way she looks at it's completely different. But the way she viewed the kiss with Matsuri, she looked at as like a younger sister or whatever. So it is very different to her. It didn't have the same weight and feelings. So you could see that Yuzu doesn't harbor any feelings for Matsuri in terms of romantic-wise. She just cares for Matsuri as a younger sister, as a good friend. And so, yeah, I like that scene. I like showing, you know, how there's clarification for how Yuzu feels about certain kisses with other people compared to Mei. That's what the episode is trying to imply. Oh yeah, and Matsuri, I just hate to break it to you, but as I've said in other series, childhood friends, they never win, okay? You may be the childhood friend of Yuzu, you may know a lot about her, you may have hung out a lot more with her than, you know, Mei ever has, but I'm just sorry to say this and break it to you, but Mei's gonna win. I mean, I've seen enough of these series to know, childhood friend, they never win. I'm sorry. No matter how much you like them or hate them, whatever, they're not gonna usually win. Now, if they do win, that's a rarity, but it's not going to happen. So, Matsuri, try all you want. Try to separate Yuzu from Mei. It's not going to work in the end. Just going to say how it is. Now, anyways, getting into other stuff. Let's talk about Matsuri's character, okay? Now, her character, we found out how she's able to make money. And as I already kind of briefly covered at the beginning of this video, it freaked me out because I just didn't think something like that would have been shown in Citrus. And she does state that she's not showing herself. She actually is going online and getting random videos and pictures and posting them. So she's not doing it to herself, her own body. But even then, though, it's very creepy and messed up that she's making money like that. And it does really put a lot into perspective that stuff like that does happen in real life. I mean, no matter how much you want to deny it or whatever, stuff like that does happen. And so, there was a bit of realism in this episode, and I was a little bit upset that Yuzu didn't really try to enforce, you know, Matsuri and, like, say, look, what you're doing, you shouldn't do. I mean, she did say it, but there needed to be a little bit more force to it. I feel like there should have been more, like, you know, I guess, lecturing from Yuzu to telling her, like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this and all that, because it's just not right at all. So, I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. But that's basically it when it comes to this episode of Citrus. It's simple, it's straight to the point, it just, you come to find out that, you know, Matsuri, she's worst girl, and she's there to slow down the plot. That's pretty much it. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.